Hi, book besties. I am finally continuing my reread of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, and we are starting off with The Titan's Curse, where everything gets darker, higher stakes, and more emotional. To provide a little update for you guys and a little backstory, as we know, the TV show is out. Everyone is raving and ranting about the TV show and how amazing it is, and it really opened up a realm for me and my middle schooler self to reread this series. And I used to have the traditional covers. However, books were gifted, books were donated, books, just everything in between happens with books. So I could read the first two books in my own free time, and I had a magnificent time. I will say the first two books aren't my favorite. However, you need them for backstory and a little bit of understanding to get into the world. However, this is where the series gets good. This is where everything changes and everything gets darker. And I very vividly remember key elements, but I don't remember things that I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly page by page where everything happens. So I'm very excited to read this book as an adult and still watch the TV show on Disney Plus or even Hulu if it is available for you guys. However, before season 3 drops and during editing and filming, I know where season 2 is going to end, and I'm going to be like, okay, I need more. And so I decided it would be fun to create a reading vlog series with you guys about me reading the last 3 books in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. I was thankfully gifted for Christmas the Percy Jackson series and Heroes of Olympus. So if you guys do like this style of video, please let me know and I will continue reading this series with you guys because I think it's going to be so fun to talk about and analyze. And I just love this world, and Rick is an amazing author. So with that being said, let's start reading The Titan's Curse. I am about 23% into The Titan's Curse, the Percy Jackson and Olympians series. I was not expecting for this book to be heavier than what it is. Like, we're right into the action and it's faster paced. It's definitely a darker tone compared to the first 2 books. And rereading this as an adult, like, it doesn't feel as whimsical. It feels more emotional and more deep than the first 2 books. And also something I've noticed is that the responsibility that these kids have to protect this world and like take on these quests is so much deeper now. Like, I can't imagine being in 8th grade like doing this. Like, I'm like, whoa. I was worried about boys. Like, now you're telling me I have to save the Olympians from the Titan? Like, you're kidding. You're actually kidding. You know what I mean? And so it's just such an interesting story, and it feels 10 times darker. Yes, there's still sassy and laughable moments. There's still the iconic characters, and I feel emotionally attached to each and every one of them. But this book just feels so heavy, and I'm only 23% in. I'm so excited to continue reading, but I'm like nervous, and I'm scared for where this is going because right now I couldn't tell you. Like, I genuinely, like, I'm like, uh-oh. Percy, what are we getting into? What are we getting into, kid? What are we getting into? So I just wanted to give you guys a little update, a little vibe check, if you will. So I'm going to continue reading for the rest of the night, but I will give you guys an update very, very soon. Hi, book besties. I am doing a little vibe check, a little check-in with you guys for The Titan's Curse in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. I am a little over 50% of the story, 56% to be exact, and this book is leaving me right where I remembered: hurt, pain, tortured, backstabbed. I want to scream. I want to cut somebody's throat. However, I know these are children in this story, but I feel so passionate about my girl getting done dirty, okay? I want this specific man to literally crawl. Okay, I want my girl to get her get back personally because I can't stand him. Anyways, with that being said, I am enjoying this book. I am entering chapter 13, page 175, about to enter the junkyard scene, one of my favorite chapters throughout this book specifically, and I am excited. However, I wanted to talk to you guys because I have definitely noticed that the tone is shifting differently compared to the other two books, as I previously have stated. However, rereading this as an adult, I have noticed also some themes that Rick is really trying to highlight throughout this series so far, and I think it's so cool to think about and for someone to notice and analyze these themes because they're very important and they're very beneficial. Because me, as a younger reader, when I first picked up the Percy Jackson series, I didn't notice these themes. I thought it was just a bunch of friends going on adventures and quests to save their world, and that was that. However, rereading this as an adult, consuming the book a little bit differently and analyzing the story a little bit differently, I have noticed these themes. With that being said, the pacing is so fast and the tension is breaking and building up throughout the story. I finish a chapter and I want to consume more of the story. I finish a chapter and I'm like, girl, I'm nervous. Like, it makes you want to read more, which I love. I love so much in a good story, and I am excited to continue reading. I'm still nervous, okay, because genuinely, I don't know what to expect. I don't know who to trust. I want everyone to be safe and sound, but that could just be me just being like, guys, let's just go back to camp. Let's just, it's okay, you know? Like, I feel so many emotions. However, I am internally rooting for them on, and I want them to take down the bad guy. Kronos, I want you dead, okay? I genuinely do. So I am very, very excited to continue reading the story. I am feeling overjoyed. I'm feeling so many different emotions on top of that, but this is a wonderful YA fantasy book to really get into, and I feel like I'm glad I'm rereading this series, and I'm glad I'm communicating and talking about it with you guys. With that being said, if you're rereading it with me, if you have read it in the past or read it recently, please comment down below one of your favorite chapters or scenes or moments in this book, without any spoilers, of course. Anyways, I'm going to continue reading. I'm very excited to enter chapter 13, the junkyard scene, and I will give you guys a vibe check and a check-in very, very soon. I needed to sit down and talk to you guys because I'm about to enter chapter 17, page 263. I'm about 80% through this book right now, and I know we're about to hit a pivotal battle scene, and we're getting really close to the end of this book, and I'm very, very excited. But I wanted to talk to you guys because, first of all, the Olympians are messy. Why are they so messy? They take family drama to the next level. Okay, and on top of that, what I really appreciate throughout the story as well, that I don't think I've highlighted before, is there is a character going along in this quest with Percy, and she is very knowledgeable of war, and she's considered a hunter, and she's worked alongside Artemis, which I believe is the goddess of war, if I'm not mistaken. But she is very, very knowledgeable and very well needed in this quest, and I say that because she brings out little tips and tricks and knowledge that she knows about Olympus or the world that they are living in. I'm gonna be honest, Percy doesn't know anything, okay? He really just goes into battle and he hopes for the best. Like, it is drawn out at a point where you feel like this information is needed now because it is something they're about to go into, but it's not like information overload when you first sometimes read a book. Like, you're like, whoa, okay, this is a lot and I can't wrap my head around it. So yes, I just wanted to share these thoughts with you. I also want to highlight that the Olympians are messy. So I am going to go back to reading, but yes, that's my thoughts right now. Hi, book besties. Hi! I finished The Titan's Curse, in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series, and I have so much to say to you guys. I love this book. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think that's where I'm at in the rating, and it doesn't make it a full 5 because of plot holes and things that I felt like could be added a little bit more into the story. However, the story overall is magnificent, and Rick is definitely making a shift in the tone of the story, as I've previously stated numerous times. But I also want to highlight the character development in this story and how we're really understanding these characters, and not at a surface level, but more in depth of who they are, and really understanding Percy Jackson, Grover, Annabeth, and getting their personality, which is so magnificent and I love. And I enjoy the story. I am so invested into the series. So if you guys enjoyed this reading vlog, or even want to continue reading the Percy Jackson series with me, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And I hope to see you guys in the next reading vlog. Bye, book besties.